let's have a look at the scorecard in the first innings. Hyderabad batted, and there you can see top on that list is Johnny Bairstow. He started slow and then, he built up momentum. He allowed Williamson to play the shots. Williamson was more fluid. He scored 41 runs. Warner contributed 45 runs. Young Abdul Samad from Kashmir scored 12. Kagiso Rabada once again excellent, picking up 2 wickets. Amit Mishra, the leg spinner, picked up 2. Akshar Patel and Marcus Stoinis going wicketless. Let's have a look at the second innings. Shikhar Dhawan scoring 34 runs, Rishabh Pant 32, Hetmyer 21 and Shreyas Iyer contributing 17 to the score of 147. Rashid Khan was the star of the night, 3 for 14. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar also picked up 2 wickets. Teenat Rajan bowled some excellent Yorkers, and Khalil Ahmed again picking 1 wicket. So 147 for 7 was as much as the Delhi team managed tonight. They were the table toppers, but good news for the Hyderabad team because they have been able to register the first victory of the tournament. Time for me to get my experts on the show. Nikhil Naz joins me from New Delhi and KR Nair from Dubai. Nikhil, to you first. Hyderabad read the pitch correctly. They probably thought they did not need 180. The score that they put up on the board was enough today.
Well, that's right, Rika. At the halfway point, when you saw the batsmen of the likes of David Warner, Johnny Bairstow, natural stroke makers, all of them, when they were struggling to really, up the tempo of the game, you knew that this wasn't a pitch where run or stroke play was going to be very, very easy, which is why when 163 run, the target was never going to be very easy for Delhi Capitals to chase down. Even though, remember, Delhi won the toss, they thought that batting in the second innings could have been slightly better, and one was expecting that maybe because of the dew, the ball would really come onto the bat, and that would allow the likes of, Rishabh Pant to play their strokes, or Shreyas Iyer, Shikhar Dhawan, but that didn't happen. Probably in hindsight, Delhi would have to go back. I mean, I know it's their first defeat. They won the first 2 matches. But in hindsight, they'll have to really look at their batting lineup. It does look a bit thin. They probably have one of the best bowling lineups in this IPL. But that batting lineup, the top order looks good, but it's that middle order, the lower middle order, who's going to play the role of Karen Pollard for them. That's something that they need to look at. They have a Stoinis all-rounder who's done it before, but they'll have to look for someone. I'll probably go back to that 5-bowler formula, which worked really well for Hyderabad today. Maybe no need for them to play 6 bowlers. As you saw, Akshar Patel did rather well and you didn't bowl him the full quota. Maybe go back to 5 bowlers. That's something that Delhi Capitals can look at.
Mr. Nair, everyone was saying that this tournament will probably be split into 2 halves. In the first half, we'll see the fast bowlers doing good, and in the second half, it's the spinners. But given how the wicket played out today, and Kagiso Rabada also saying that it is a 2-paced wicket, would you say by now it's the 11th match of the tournament which was played, the wickets are getting a little tired, and from now on we will increasingly see this become a spinners tournament?
The 2-paced wicket is basically because today was a special, I must say, the wicket, because Warner and Bairstow correctly studied that it is not easy to go for the big shots, and that's why you must have seen they're concentrating more on the singles and keep going. So when you have to adapt to the kind of wicket, the wear and tear will be there for the wicket, but the thing is that there are 3 wickets in each venue, and there are many matches going to happen. But of course, it is not these wickets are well known to help spinners all along. It has been like that. But if it helped Rashid Khan, basically you should understand Rashid Khan plays almost every international match in this venue.
Right.
Because he plays for Pakistan Super League. He has come and played in Afghanistan League. He has come and played in T10 League. So he knows more than anybody else. He knows the wicket very well. So how to use the wickets in UAE is very, very important.
Nikhil, after the two high-scoring matches in the last 2 days, did you expect this to be a low-scoring encounter on this wicket in Abu Dhabi?
One did, Rika, you'd have to say, primarily because of the size of the ground. Of course, Sharjah being a small ground, you expect such big totals. Yes, of course, the other one also came in Dubai, which is a fairly big ground, but the pitch was rather flat. So you expected some big totals there. Here, it was quite the contrary. But I must also, just talking about the pitch, probably I'd like to wait a bit longer to see if the pitches are really tired. This could just be the day where the bowlers were on fire. I think somewhere down the line, Hyderabad's performance is linked with the performance of how a Rashid Khan performs or how a Bhuvneshwar Kumar performs. And today we saw even Nataraj bowl rather well. So I think the Hyderabad bowling lineup came together. If you just look back from that 2016 season onwards, when they won the IPL title, bowling was always Hyderabad's strength. They relied on their top order, the likes of David Warner and Shikhar Dhawan, to get them a decent total. And then you'd have Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Rashid Khan really put the brakes on the opposition batting. And that's what came good today. The first two games that Hyderabad lost, and you take a look at the figures of Rashid Khan, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, not quite good. Today they did rather well, and there you have it, that Hyderabad's won. So I think this is going to be a trend. These two bowlers are going to be very, a key for Hyderabad's performance. And every time they perform, I think it's going to be very, very tough to beat this side. And of course, you'll have, Warner and Bairstow also fire while batting on top of the order.
So Nikhil, would you say that these two bowlers tonight got their mojo back? Because, before the match started, in the pre-show, we were discussing how Bhuvi's economy over the last 2 years have gone up. Probably it means that his performance has been dipping. But tonight, he was fantastic, and so was Rashid Khan. Would you say that he has got back his mojo?
You'd have to say that on the evidence of what you saw, Rika, today. One mustn't forget that the reason that Bhuvneshwar's performance really dipped was the fact that he suffered an injury. And, coming back from the injury, he was never the same. And I'm not just talking about the IPL. If you were to take a look at his performances in India colours as well, he seemed to have been struggling. So I guess it will take some time for him to get his mojo back. But we did see some evidence today of the Bhuvneshwar Kumar of the old. And if you do see more of him like this, I think it augurs well for the Hyderabad team. The other thing, as you said, I'm very impressed with Natarajan. A young kid, I was reading his story, someone who was playing just tennis ball cricket a few years ago, and then that played the Tamil Nadu Premier League, and from there on, caught the eye of a lot of scouts around the country, and that's how he was picked. And to see someone like him perform on this stage against some of the best batsmen in the world, that's really heartening to see. We just saw, someone like Devdutt Padikkal who's doing that after playing in the Karnataka Premier League. You see another one coming from a domestic league. So that augurs really well for Indian cricket at the moment.
And since you mentioned about Natarajan, I have to tell our viewers that in 2017, from the auction, Kings 11 Punjab had picked him for 30 times his base price, for a price of 3 crore rupees. And Natarajan at that time was in a very bad shape. He barely could get going, and he said that the auction changed his life altogether. He didn't perform that season. In 2018, he was bought by SunRisers Hyderabad for a price of 40 lakh rupees, and he repaid the faith tonight. Mr. Nair, coming back to you and talking about the matches, what we've seen in this IPL, there's an emerging trend where the chases are becoming impossible, though we have seen the highest run chase also. But generally, if you see most of the matches, the teams are not managing to chase down targets. Why is that?
Basically, that till this match, the captains were confused. Basically about the toss, whether to bat or bowl, the fear of due continued. But what happened? Whoever won the toss was losing the match. So the thing is that they were not sure as to what to do but who did change the match? It was Sanju Samson who changed the match. Right. Bat first and hit and make a big score, which is very, very important. You go for your shots, have a big total, and then you can put the other team under pressure. Right. So because this is the trend that should happen. And as far as how the tournament is going, what more you need in the first 11 matches, you have two super over finishes,
Right.
the highest run chase, and max equal this record for the maximum number of sixes.
Right.
So I think so far the IPL is going brilliantly, and it could be one of the best IPLs in the history.
Right. Nikhil, coming back to you, we saw how the batsmen struggled in the middle, how, Hyderabad batsmen initially found it difficult to get going. But one man who looked sublime today coming off the bench, Kane Williamson. What would you say of, Kane Williamson now coming back to the IPL?
Well, he's just making everyone realize who made him sit on the bench what a good player he is. And he frankly didn't really need to do that. We've seen him do this in international cricket over and over again. I guess a lot of people, maybe in the SunRisers Hyderabad camp, went by his performances in last season, which wasn't great. But in the season before, he was outstanding. So he's had a bit of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde sort of performance in the IPL. And I guess they went by the last IPL performance from Kane Williamson. But having said that, you got to remember the kind of things that he's achieved in, international cricket. Talking about white ball cricket, he captained New Zealand recently to the 50-over World Cup final. So his class was never in doubt, and I guess he had a point to prove. Also, the dynamics of just playing four foreigners, Rika, as you know, it gets really tough to fit in those four players, especially when you have the likes of David Warner and Johnny Bairstow in your top order. Then how is it that you fit Kane Williamson? I just thought, today what Williamson showed, probably he needs to bat at number 3 and not number 4, not behind Manish Pandey, definitely, because I know that sometimes you look at Kane Williamson as a very typically test match player, but you look at his strike rate, there's not too much of a difference between Manish Pandey and Williamson. So I guess that's where they really need to go with, keep him in that top 3, and I'm guessing he is going to fire for them. He's going to become a very crucial cog in the wheel, especially at times where you lose a David Warner and a Johnny Bairstow earlier in the innings. Who's the one who's going to take you till the end of the 20th over? If you had to put money on that, you would probably put it on Williamson. So I guess he's going to become very important, and today's performance is definitely going to be something that the SunRisers Hyderabad management is going to keep in mind going forward with Williamson.
Mr. Nair, another player I have to talk about tonight is Kagiso Rabada, the guy who got the purple cap. Fantastic performance by him once again, picking up those 2 wickets. Would you say the way he has emerged, if Delhi is going to go all the way to the knockouts, he is going to hold the key?
Yes. Yeah. You know how he utilized the wicket today was brilliant. He's proving out to be a fantastic bowler, and he is progressing with every match. The beauty of his approach is that he knows where to bowl in T20. Basically, you should have seen that how he got Bairstow out, and also the way he managed to keep Williamson on check. That towards the last 2 overs he bowled was brilliant. Otherwise, I'm sure they could have gone for a bigger total. In fact, they wanted a 180 or some kind of a total, but they could have even gone for a 200. But because look at the lineup of batting: Warner, Bairstow, Williamson. They can really. But to keep them in check was brilliant, and I think the Rabada will go a long way in the coming matches, and he will play a very big role in this IPL.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nair. Thank you very much, Nikhil, for joining me on the show this evening.